podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the Lair podcast in association with Riverside Sports Bar, the home for live sport and great grub in Newport. Joining me for this one is Gavin Thomas and Gareth Leclerc. Hello, gentlemen. How are we?
Very well, very well.
All good. Hurting a little bit after the result, but all good.
Yeah, it was a tough one, wasn't it? But we'll get into that in a bit. That was a really a tough one to take. So just before we continue, this is going to be the last pod that we do for a little while. We're taking a break during the Six Nations period because we don't record during the Six Nations period because we've got lives, we've got families and stuff. However, we will be back to review the Benetton game. And in the meantime, you can listen to the Wrap podcast for all of Wales's Six Nations coverage. And I've also been told that the URC Rewind pod will be covering the Six Nations as well. So make sure you check those out during the next few weeks. But for us, we're going to take a break after this one. Moving on to news desk, nothing much in the way of news was there in the week. There's all the usual stuff about Ospreys Y11, which I'm not being funny. I can't be asked to get into tonight. I think we've covered that enough now. We've had our say on it, and I'm going to leave it there for time being. Unless any major events happen, any significant news, then I think we'll bypass that for a little while. Only other bit of news I saw, Dragons related, well, a couple of bits actually. Ryan Woodman was called in to train with the Wales squad this week, which is quite encouraging. Shows that it shows that he's in the mind of the Welsh selectors.
He was with them last week as well. They talked about it on Premier Sport commentary.
Oh, never.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, good stuff.
It was him and there was someone else who I can't remember.
No, but it's good that he's in camp because you never know if there's an injury in the back row. Maybe Ryan will get the call. I mean, I think he should have been involved in this Six Nations squad, to be honest. But at least he is involved in some way.
As we spoke last week, it's a bizarre squad, isn't it? But
it's a strange squad, some strange calls in there. I also saw, I don't know if you saw this, Gav, because you're quite active on the old Instagram, in you, but Dylan Lewis said on his Instagram account he had a setback in regards to his recovery from a calf injury. Now, he didn't go into detail, but he just said, I've had a bit of a setback, boys. So I'm not sure how bad that is, how much longer that's going to keep him out for, but it's not great, especially with our tight head injury situation, as we'll talk about in a bit. But that's pretty disappointing.
Hunt's knee. Oh God, that looked horrific.
Yeah, that's a big worry, isn't it?
Yeah. Did you see any other bits of news, Garth, that you want to discuss? Or
no, I'm really happy that Woodman's in camp. I think that's well deserved. I think he's definitely got the class to make that step up. Having a really good season, so shows Tandy is looking at some of the right players. So yeah, pretty pleased with that.
Yeah, good stuff. Okay, then let's get into it. We was there, Gareth, on Saturday night at the Electric Dreams Brewery Field in Bridgend.
Is that genuinely what it's called?
No,
I thought it was the Electric Brewery.
No, I just made it up.
Oh, right.
The Electric Dreams. It's called the Electric Brewery Field.
I knew it was the Electric Brewery Field. Yeah. If it was called the Electric Dreams Brewery Field, I was going to suggest the immediate disbandment of Bridgend RFC.
No, that was me taking the piss. I mean, it's the Electric Brewery Field.
You can exist a bit longer, Bridgend. You're all right.
Yes. No, it was good day out. Good evening. We caught up with a few familiar faces. Rod from the Black Feather, bumped into him. Grant from the Erie.
Lovely guy.
See him. Lovely guy. Nick as well. Nick from Rap. And from the Erie.
I like Nick. He's a lovely bloke.
He is. Yeah, we had a quick chat. And James was there. From the other Ospreys pod, he was rubbing it in right at the end.
Yeah, not nice to see him in case he's listening. Didn't enjoy that. Thanks, James.
He does listen.
You know what they say, bad winners are worse than bad losers, don't they? But, he was loving it right at the end. I don't blame him, because I was exactly the same when Luke Yendall scored that try
Oh,
in the
yeah.
4th minute when we beat the Ospreys. So
No,
I get
you
it.
know,
Good fun.
it was
Good
an
fun.
exciting end. But to be fair, if they butchered that chance, then perhaps, you know,
Yeah.
career should have been reconsidered.
Right, let's get into it then. So it finished. Ospreys 19, Dragons 13. And it's the one that got away again, isn't it?
Hmm.
So Dragons were leading 13-7 during the second half after 8 points from the boot of Angus O'Brien and a try for Tinas to be in the opening 40 minutes. But then those late tries from Lewis Lloyd, and right at the end, the 80th minute, Keelan Giles scored to ensure a painful end to another encouraging Dragons performance away from Rodney Parade. So, yeah, that's how it finished. Just like Munster last week, this was another kick in the guts. Ospreys won a game that they probably didn't deserve to win, if I'm being honest, but that's sport, isn't it? Sometimes the best team doesn't always win. We had opportunities to close out that game and we failed. Although I would say it was very hard to close a game out when you're down to 30 men
Yeah.
and your entire front row has come off. But that's just how it goes. Sometimes you just don't get the luck you deserve. So, yeah,
And the problem, because I have definitely never feigned an injury so we could go to uncontested scrums in the game. So we stopped going backwards on roller skates. But sadly, unlike the lowest levels of Sussex rugby, you do have to level the playing field up, which is why we lost Dowie Richards, which made it quite difficult in the end, really, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Okay, let's start with you then, Gavin, actually, on your take on that game. So I don't know about you, but to me, that was a game that Dragons lost rather than Ospreys winning it because it's another missed opportunity again, isn't it? We should have won that game.
We should have been 2 or 3 tries clear at the end of the first half. All the possession we had, just all the play. And then if that had been the case, they wouldn't have come back. And there are positives for me. The defence at times was, yeah, and it was so disciplined as well because we didn't give away that many penalties in the red zone. But the number of tackles we was making, you know, Harry Beddle, I know like the official stats are like 25. I reckon it was 280, and all of them within the 5 metre line. Because every time there's a bloke with a ball, Beddle's wrapped around him like a monkey, just wrapping him. Because he's not a big lad, but his technique is so good. He's low, he just drives upwards, and then at every rack he's just there. Yeah, so there were bits of it that were great, but you made a point, Gareth, in the group chat this morning. You can't win a game if only scores 13 points. And it's realistic, isn't it? And we had opportunities to probably be 30 points, which we would have won it.
Yeah.
And I've seen some stuff saying, oh, Rodri did this and yeah, Rodri was poor, but, you know, by that point, we let the game get away from us anyway. And we shouldn't have even been in that position. You know, we should have been in a position I could have come on at 9 and it wouldn't have made much difference. But, you know, we just didn't. We didn't take the chances when we had them presented to us. And we just lacked that. And, yeah, and it wasn't a night for Rio. It wasn't a night for Dowie Richards. Couldn't really do a lot with the ball. They did try. I think we weren't great under the high ball. They were better under the high ball than us. Which did, particularly the second half, we were losing our aerial battle and it caused us more problems than we needed.
Cost us a lot of territory, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, there was some erratic refereeing, is how I'm going to describe it.
Well, I come on to that a bit because I've got something to say about Ben Connor. So, yeah.
But yeah, it was absolutely, we were not outclassed. And I think last season, or start this season, we said we wanted to see progression. Well, we've seen it, haven't we?
Oh,
this is a much better side than we had last season. It's competitive. I know what they're doing now. It didn't look as good attacking wise yesterday, but that wasn't to do with coaching. That was to do with conditions and.
The pitch wasn't great. It's not great
my
in Bridgend.
God,
really
alive! You know, that's not an elite sports pitch.
It's not an elite sporting venue.
No.
We'll come on to it a bit. I actually liked the Brewery Field. It was my first time there. I liked it, but it's not suitable for post standard. I don't care what anyone tries to tell me.
Last time I went to, I think it was 1988. So, but it didn't look like it changed a lot, if I'm
It
honest.
probably
So,
hasn't changed since the last time you saw it, Gav, in fairness.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I tell you what I did like though, on the terrace, the main terrace, the bar is right at the back. They got like an open bar right at the back,
All
which I
right.
thought was a really good setup. It was very easy to just
It's the
go and get a
best bar
pint.
I've ever been to in my life.
Yeah, it was better than Ronnie Craig, wasn't it?
Jesus,
It was
Gareth.
amazing.
It was good.
I was blown away by that bar when we walked up
Yeah.
onto the terrace. You can just be at the bar and the games are unbelievable.
I've now got images of someone going, "Oh, Gareth, would you like to come to Raffles Hotel Bar in Singapore, renowned as the best bar in the world?" No, I've been to the bar at the Electric Dreams Brewery Field. I want to go to Raffles.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
stand by
Any
it.
other? It was a good setup. Any other takeaways, Gav, from that game you want to mention?
Well, I thought the only other thing, I think Angus is just in imperious form at the minute.
He's a
But
man in form, and he really
yeah,
is.
he really is. And I thought Lamini, for all the fact he gave away the penalty that cost us the game, essentially, I thought he did well because that bloke must have been hanging out of his rear end by the end of it. He hasn't played a full game of rugby for a long time, and you could tell by the end of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, referee, for all the inconsistencies, Lamini didn't bind once, not properly, the entire game. And he only got caught once, so I goes, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. You know about that stuff more than any of us, so
Yeah,
I'll take our
like
expert opinion on the binding.
you're meant to bind here. You start there. He wasn't even starting. Yeah, I knew sometimes you do slide up. He wasn't starting there. For those listening, I'm kind of bottom end of my shirt. He was up under the armpit and pulling the arm in every time, which you're not meant to do.
Which wound up Gareth Thomas as well, didn't it?
Oh yeah, it was driving him mad because the thing is, I hate it when you play against somebody who does that. Because I'll try pushing their arm away or just holding my arm up so the ref can see there's no bind.
Yeah.
But like Gareth Thomas was getting aerated back because I don't blame him because he couldn't drive because he's got massive South African bloke hanging off his armpit.
Well, if we can get away with it, then keep doing
Yeah,
it,
and
I guess.
he did for the entire game apart from once.
No, there we are then. Gareth, you was there, the man on the terrace. Tell us about it. What did you think?
I mean, it was a great evening, but I am hurting today. I'm sad. I really wanted to watch the game back today, and I've watched small parts, but I found it a little bit too painful. It's still a little bit raw.
I watched it as soon as I got in. I got in Saturday night. I had a curry and I watched it back, and it's still
fair play. It is disappointing, but there's a lot of fight. Gav mentioned the defense. Defense is absolutely fantastic, and a lot of defense is attitude, isn't it? And I really like the attitude of this side. We fight for everything. We're really aggressive, but we are being smart. I think a lot of the time we just let the Ospreys play in front of us. So by the time they actually got to the line with the ball, we were aggressive and chopping them down, but all of their play was just 10 yards before they were actually getting to us to get hit. So we were making them look a little bit daft, really, and looking comfortable with it. I really enjoyed that. And Nisi as well. He's fast becoming one of my favourite players. There was one point they had a huge overlap in the first half, and he sort of shoved Guy Richards to go to ball, and he covered three men sort of on his own. And without really doing much, he just managed to be in the right position and made the tackle because he just makes everything look easy. I don't know how he does it. It's like he's just playing on the schoolyard. Rugby is too easy for Anisi. I'm really, really pleased with how he's going as a signing. Great. Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say the 5 meter defence is some of the best I've ever seen.
Oh, fantastic.
It was so controlled, and it was being so, and Iron was leading it looked like, and it was just so well organised.
Yeah, and you can see you're spot on with the Nyron leading it in. You can see when you watch us live as well how much Nyron does lead us during the game, how much he's barking at players, and he's keeping that sort of energy high. And 5 meter defense, that is attitude, that is having energy to get up and keep going. And
it's balls and technique and not a lot else.
Yeah. And that, you can really get behind that team then, can't you? When you can see your team fighting for that, you can really get behind them. And we were keeping out, a pretty strong Ospreys side there. Really pleased with it. It's just devastating that we didn't get over the line. But like we touched on, Gav, scoring 13 points, you just don't win games scoring 13 points. And we should have capitalised the first half.
Not in the modern game.
It's
20 years ago, maybe 30 years ago, definitely. Nowadays, absolutely not.
Yeah, and Rio Dye went really close first half in the corner, and Nisi was close. We spent a lot of time in the first half down their end, and we should have come away with points. But second half, it felt like we were clinging on with more than 20 to go. And even though our defence was amazing, you just thought, how are we possibly going to do this for 20? Yeah. And sadly, it did creak at the last minute. But it was great to go down with the supporters. Bumped into, like Jamie said, some nice people from the Ospreys end, but great to spend time with, a lot of the Dragons guys who we see on the terrace were with us as well. So that was really good. We made quite a bit of noise, I felt, on the terrace. Don't know how well.
On the TV, you could really hear it. And there's an early knock on, and I could hear he knocked it on. And I said to my wife, I guarantee it's Loaf leading that.
Oh, Loaf is our he certainly gets us going. He's the orchestra, the maestro. Sorry, he's fantastic. And there was a good fair play. There's a good group of Ospreys fans in front of us who were giving it quite large, having a go at our players, and that's what a derby's about. It was not heated, but it was a good bit of rivalry on the terrace, and that's what you want. It was good as well on the supporters bus. Was good fun. To be fair, a group of young lads in front of me as well, which was good to see. 20-year-old boys, the OCM crew, as they call themselves. They were good crack, but it's good to see 20-year-old boys, having a beer and going to a Dragons away match. But it didn't have to make me feel old when we're on the bus home and I'm nearly nodding off in the chair and they're planning their night ahead of them. And I'm thinking, the night's over, boys. But for them, it's just...
For you, it is.
It's just beginning. So I did feel my age a bit, but they were good crack. And it was a great trip. I really enjoyed the brewery field. I like a terrace. Enjoyed the banter on it. It probably does need a bit of love to be, a pro-level stadium.
It's not a pro-level stadium, but that's part of the charm, though, as well. That's why I like it. For me, that was a proper old-school rugby ground, and it was a proper old-school Welsh derby. It was an arm wrestle, and we knew it was going to be tight, didn't we? I was only 1 point off my prediction as well, because I said Ospreys by 7. It was Ospreys by 6. But I knew it was going to be a score in it, and it was a really good evening. The attendance at the brewery field was 5,281, which I think is a bit disappointing. If I'm honest, I'm surprised by that. I thought there would have been more people there, given everything that's going on with the
current climate and
I expected a little bit more than that. Now, to be fair, the trains weren't running, were they, from Swansea?
Yeah,
there was an issue, so they had rail replacement services. Even so, a bit disappointed in our crowd figure, but it did, it sounded to have a lot more than 5,000 there. I thought our support, our support was fantastic. We completely outsang the Ospreys fans. There was the occasional burst of "Olay, olay, 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 Ospreys, Ospreys." That's the only song they got. We were brilliant. We were singing loads of songs. We were loud. We were great. And like I said, you could hear it on the TV as well.
Oh, really?
I thought that was, and there's been a lot of comments as well from Osprey supporters saying that's the best away support we've had at the brewery field. And there was a lot of Dragon supporters there. We travelled well.
I don't think I've ever noticed so many Ospreys or, opposition fans commenting on the away support. So that was really nice to see. But I also really enjoyed the Ospreys fans because, I've been to the other stadiums where you don't get that sort of rivalry on the terrace and the banter like Cardiff fans are a bit plastic. Scarlet fans just only sing when they're winning. But the Ospreys fans in front of us.
To be fair, that was the Ospreys fans on Saturday night. They were only singing when they were winning as well.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Well,
They were quiet for chunks of the game.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
A lot
there
of
was
large
there was a
chunks.
group in front of us who were giving it some throughout the game. But yeah, the majority of the crowd were a bit quieter. But there was a good group, and I enjoyed that sort of rivalry. But yeah, we sort of didn't stop, which was it was good fun, wasn't it? I was a bit hoarse this morning, but and imagine Mr. Loaf is as well.
Mr. Loaf, yeah. So I've been to see Dragons games being played at Swansea, the Swansea.com. I've been about 4 or 5 times, I think. And I honestly prefer going to Bridgend. Even though Swansea, the facilities were much nicer, much
100%.
better, I would much rather go to Bridgend. And it's a shame, isn't it? You know, with everything that's happening with the Ospreys, the future in doubt, we all know what's going on. We all know what's likely to happen. It's a real shame that this St. Helens project, if it doesn't get off the ground.
Yeah.
Because could you imagine how good Welsh derbies would be at St. Helens? Again, proper old school ground. You know, they would have pumped a lot of money into that picturesque scenery. It's a real shame.
Yeah.
If this doesn't go ahead, it's a real shame because I think that would be excellent for the Ospreys. That would have been a game changer for them if that St. Helens plan had gone through.
Mm-hmm.
It still could, yeah. Who knows? We don't know. Anything could happen.
You know,
But,
they're gaining a lot of
we'll see.
attention, aren't they, with their protests? It was a shame, really, the supporters bus didn't leave earlier, so we couldn't join the 6:00 protest. But we would have if we were there. There was the holding up the phone lights on the 11th minute, which did crack me up because there was a break in play, so the clock stayed on 11 minutes, like 40 for ages. And in the end, people were sort of like, I just put this down now because it's been 5 minutes.
The one chant you could hear a lot of was WRU, shame on you.
Yes.
That was, I heard that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good crack, to be fair.
They were singing that at the protest as well. Apparently, Jamie Roberts had a bit of a tough time because obviously he's on the WRU board. So he would have approved the Y11 bid, apparently.
You see online,
what did Wales online say? A frosty reception, which I think is a slight understatement. Frosty reception.
Dear me.
Dear Lord, yeah. But it was good fun. And, you know, I am sympathetic to the Ospreys. I really am. Still wanted to beat them, though.
Yeah.
I'm sympathetic up to a point, but I still really wanted to beat them because that's sport, that's rivalry. And there's a grave concern now that we're going to lose this rivalry. And it's one of my favourite rivalries.
Yeah.
Especially when it's played at Ronnie Briggs, we always beat them. But
it's all right. Half the rivalries going to Cardiff anyway.
Well,
you know, as it will be the Cardiff South Wales Ospreys Blues.
I don't know. I'm getting a bit fed up with all the talk about it, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm just taking it into the realms of absolute idiocy now, particularly any discussion about it on the internet. I'm like, no, I've stopped being serious about this a long time ago now.
It's best to stay out of conversations on X when people are arguing and you're caught up in, I mentioned something the other day and then I had all these people in my mentions arguing about Ospreys wouldn't win a tender and all this. I'm like, lads, just fucking leave me out of it. I didn't ask you to come into my replies and start arguing with each other.
I had 82 comments about branding and about whether or not regions were inclusive. And then I just kind of snapped and said, "You're not getting an East Wales region. Behave."
It's pretty ugly at the minute because everyone's just arguing with each other, and then people start pointing fingers at Dragons, and then they start pointing fingers at Cardiff, and I'm like, I've had enough now. Leave me out of it. Just not interested. Argue amongst yourself, lads. Some of us got fucking life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I haven't got time for that bullshit. Anyway, going back to the game, Philo said, we are disappointed. I thought we played really well. He said, I can't fault the effort. I'm proud of the group. And we deserved more than what we got. And he's right. We did. We didn't deserve to lose that. He's right. But he's also right in what he says here as well. But we also weren't clinical enough. We had 7 or 8 entries inside the 22 we didn't convert. We got to be better around our body height in the contact area and cleaning bodies. We got to keep sharpening up. He says the buzzword growth. Philo loves talking about growth. Look at any post-match interview, any press in the week. Philo, if you're doing Tia bingo, growth is going to come up a lot.
I tell you what, though, now
He's right.
I don't mind him talking about growth
No,
when we
he's
are
right.
growing.
Oh, yeah, I'm
Yes.
just saying, it's a
when we
word he
weren't
uses a lot.
growing,
Yeah.
I was like, stop talking about something that's not happening. But now we are. He can talk about it.
Yeah, of course. He just uses this word an awful lot. So he says, I'm seeing real growth around staying in the fight, not giving up, and not giving up for each other. The leadership has been good, as I've spoken about in recent weeks. That hasn't changed. He says, we're heading in the right direction. We just got to get the rub of the green and hopefully get a win away from home. He said, the scoreboard didn't go our way tonight, but we are a team that is scrapping for each other with a tougher edge. I agree. He's right. There is a real resilience and toughness about this team now that I don't think we've seen for a long time.
There's a real mental toughness because we'd have cracked a lot earlier last season. We cracked in the end when we ran out of bodies, not because our brains give way.
Yeah.
And how many times, Jamie, particularly in the early days of the pod, would you and I talk about lack of mental strength?
Lack of leadership was your favourite quote, wasn't it? And you were right. You were right, to be fair.
Oh, yeah. But now there is real leadership all over the field.
Yeah, agree. But we were up against it from the get-go, weren't we? Things didn't really go our way. Rob Hunt being carried off.
Oh, a minute in.
2 minutes it was. He injured his left hamstring. He got cleared out of a ruck. Then you got Wyn Jones, very experienced guy, British Lion, he going off. Was
it Rob Hunt's hamstring? I thought it was his knee. It looked like
his knee.
It looked like he hyperextended it.
According to the BBC, it was his left hamstring when cleared out of a ruck. That's what they said.
I saw the replay, Gav, and it is his knee hyperextends, and I'm sure
it looks like that to me. It might just have been his hamstring which popped rather than.
I hope it's not his knee. If it is his knee, that's bad news.
But it hyperextended and it was straight. And when he was cleared out, it just jarred, and they are horrific injuries.
Oh, well, let's just wait and see because we thought Shea Oakwood's going to be playing this one. After that looked a nasty injury Munster he did. So we got a few weeks recovery. Let's just see what happens. So, you lose 2 props. Your starting props, the opening 12 minutes. Straight away, you're under the cosh.
So then
you're asking guys like, young Jordan Morris and Sibo Delamini to go the full distance. I think that's tough for any prop. And then you got Ollie Burrows. I thought they actually did all
right as well, to be fair.
I did.
Yeah. Ollie Burrows coming on, and then he went off again, and then Damini again sent off, and Dragons losing another man with 4 minutes to play due to needing to play with uncontested scrums. We were down to 13 men. And I think that was the turning point for me. Like, people were saying to me on Saturday night, as soon as the props went off, we lost that game, I don't think that was the turning point. For me, the turning point was when Domini got yellow carded in the 73rd minute for that high tackle on Harry Houston. That for me was when I thought to myself, okay, we could lose this now. Because funny enough, I didn't feel any danger that we were going to lose to the Ospreys because I thought we were very comfortable in defence. We soaked up a lot of pressure. But as soon as he went off, that's when I thought to myself, okay, we could have a real problem now. And when I went to uncontested scrums, someone's got to go as well.
Yeah.
So that's when I thought, okay, they could sneak this, and unfortunately for us, they did. What I would say though, in terms of Jordan Morris, how well did he do? And that experience of coming up against us, let's be honest, that was a strong Ospreys pack for 68 minutes. Yeah. That's going to do Jordan Morris the world of good. I think that's a very valuable experience. And I was very impressed with the young man. I thought he did incredibly well.
Up against 2 good scrummaging tight deads in Rhys Henry and Tom Boulter.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, a lot of talk about the ref. Ben Connor was the ref on Saturday night. Ben Connor, of course, is the son of former Dragons and Ospreys fly-off Sean Connor.
Oh, is he really?
Did not know that.
No, I don't pay a lot of attention to refs.
Well, we know that because I've said that on the pod.
Yeah, but
So Ben Connor is also a former Dragons Academy player, which I think raises question marks about whether he should be actually refereeing our games, to be honest. Because if we do get decisions go our way, it could look like he's biased. We had that accusation from a lot of Salty Scarlets fans when we beat them at Ronnie Parade. They were saying, well, he's a former Dragon. But then also, if he gives calls against us which are harsh or incorrect, then it looks like he's overcompensating for his Dragons and Gwent connection. So that's a debate for another day. But I do think there are question marks about that. That leaves me slightly uncomfortable. But there were two key decisions that he got wrong in our first half, which I think were very costly for us. Morgan Morse put a shoulder to Nine Owen's head.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
Ben Connor did the right thing. He went to the TMO.
And then ignored it.
Content. So went to the TMO, and then he saw the replay on the big screen. It was clear shoulder to head. Even the commentators had said, Martin Gillingham and Philip Atutiat, I watched it on Premier Sports, didn't watch SOC. They said that was a clear shoulder to the head, and they were right. You've seen the clip. I've said it to you in the group chat. Moses made contact with Lyron's head. Ben Connor came back, said, force was to the chest, penalty only. Bullshit.
But
Absolute bullshit.
The TMO, she was saying, are you sure? And he said, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, he got it wrong. It was bullshit.
No, he did get it wrong.
That was a bad decision. And then also in that first half, Levi makes a break, a really good break, actually. He offloads to Shea Hope, and Ryan Smith tackles Shea before he has the ball in his hands. Yeah. And Shea did say to the referee, I've been tackled off the ball, just ignored. That should have been a penalty as well. But that Morgan Morse incident, that was a yellow card. And I'm really annoyed that didn't get given. Yeah. So actually what happened in the second half.
Yeah, it was similar to Dlamini's offence as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, but why wasn't Morse sent off and then Dlamini was... I got no problem with Dlamini's yellow card, by the way. That was right.
They should have both gone off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought that was a very poor decision. It was clearly shoulder to head. I don't care what anyone tries to tell me. I've seen the clip a million times.
Oh, it was absolutely shoulder to head.
Yeah. So I think Morse was very, very lucky to stay on the field. Bad decision by Ben Connor. In terms of the stats, Dragons had 42% possession and 44% territory. Ospreys had 58% possession and 56% territory. Listen to this. This won't surprise you, given how the game went, but Ospreys had 95% possession in the last 10 minutes. Dragons only had 5.
Oh. Yeah, you're not winning a tight game then, are you?
Defence wins games, though. We could have.
But like 95% possession, that's too much. That's good, that's too much.
But then we were, like I said, I didn't think the Ospreys offered a great deal in attack. And then we were quite comfortable in defence. It was only when Domini got that yellow card, that's when they started to make some real, gains. So it was crucial, that yellow card going off. That was really crucial. And then contested scrums, when you go down to 30 men, that was it. That was really difficult.
As you know, I have not been the biggest advocate of Keelan Giles' rugby. And when he scored, somebody who I know was an Osprey fan said, see, I told you he was brilliant. Well, he's done nothing all game. And then he's run into a gap because of 13 blocks. I don't think that makes him a world beater.
So I disagree about Keelan Giles. I like Keelan Giles. I think he's a good player. However, I was surprised he had man of the match. Why did he get player of the match? Just for scoring that try at the end? I thought Yeston Hopkins was better than him. I thought Yeston Hopkins had a really good game.
I thought Yeston Hopkins and the American lad, what's his name, Walsh. Both.
Keelan Giles was man of the match.
Yeah, did you not know that?
Honestly, the Keelan Giles thing I don't get. He's a very similar player to Rio, but is about 20% less effective.
Yeah, he was anonymous all game.
Yeah, he was, until who else was quiet as well was Moriarty, because our defence just kept shutting him down.
Yeah, I thought that was a really good head-to-head battle there with Bedell and Moriarty at 10. I thought Moriarty was fine, but he didn't cause us.
He wasn't carrying heavily.
He didn't cause us the problems I thought he would.
No, because he's a big bloke to stop and a hard runner, but we cut him down. Bedell was just on him.
Yeah, Bedell did a really good job on Moriarty, has to be said. Yeah. But I miss Moriarty 11 a bit.
He's a great player. Yeah. Just imagine if we kept hold of him and Will Rowlands with the pack we've got now.
Yeah. I love Moriarty, but we did give him some shit from the sidelines.
I didn't.
I did.
What a surprise, Gareth.
Rugby hooligan, isn't he? Always giving a beer out.
Yeah.
Our scrum was at 86%. Which ain't too bad. I thought we were decent in the scrum. The line out, though, was a bit of a disaster, wasn't it? And I don't want to put all the blame on Brodie. I know a lot of people do when the lineup goes like that, but it wasn't great, was it, the lineup?
I think it's fair to say he didn't have a great day, Brodie. And I think Brodie is an exceptional player. And for me, Brodie he should be in the international squad. I think he's a really, really good hooker and will be a very good hooker for the Dragons for a long time, but didn't have a great game.
No, he had a poor game. I totally agree.
Yeah. And, it does happen.
Of course it does. Yeah, it does. Defence was at 92%. We made 193 tackles and missed 17. We made more turnovers than the Ospreys. We made 9, they made 5. Ospreys conceded 10 penalties. We only conceded 6 penalties all game, according to Rugby Pass stats.
And considering how much time we were camped in our own 22, that's phenomenal stuff.
It is. Because
that's something so different, isn't it, from where we were?
Oh, absolutely. I was just about to say, in the past, when we've been under the cosh, we've constantly given away penalties, because that's what bad teams do. When they're put under pressure, they just make, bad judgments. They make bad errors, bad choices, and then they end up just giving away penalties. They become desperate. But I think we've done a really good job of keeping our cool, staying in the fight, and not losing our heads and giving away daft penalties.
It's because it's so easy to go offside, because you're desperate to get at the bloke. So you'll nick a yard or two. But to keep that discipline, it requires real mental strength.
It does.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Harry Beddle was the game's top tackler overall, 25 tackles. I mean, that could change in a couple of days, because, like I said, Rugby Pass stats, they're a little bit strange. Sometimes they're spot on and they're wrong in a couple of days. They get updated.
It was at least 1,000 tackles.
He just hits everything, doesn't he? I bet his mum brings him a cuppa and he just smashes her. He's just built to tackle, isn't he? He's a legend. I love him. What a player.
I wrote this on X the other day. I was delighted when we signed him. I know you was, Gav, because you left that ridiculously excitable voicemail message. You'd won the lottery.
I was very excited about him and Anisi, and turns out, they've done all right.
I didn't think he would make the impact he's had in his very first season of URC rugby, and it's genuinely taken me by surprise just how good he has been. He's been incredible. What a machine! What a player!
I was having this conversation with my dad and my brother today, and it's really good. We have got leaders, like Angus is a really big leader for us. And we've got a few other experienced players but a lot of our
NDC.
They really do lead us. But a lot of our young players now are really stepping up, and Beddle is really leading us with his actions.
Yeah, Woodman as well.
Dictating play. Yes, Woodman, and it is the spine of the team are young Welsh players, and that is really exciting me as well. And you just think, if we could get a couple of the bottom of the depth chart players leave, because you always have that natural turnover. If we can add a little bit more quality to this side, we will definitely be playoff contenders. It's not going to take a lot, but they do need to be quality additions. But it's so exciting to have young Welsh players sort of leading from the front for us.
Yeah, and we have got some very excitable young players at the Dragons who don't get talked about because they're at the Dragons. They don't get talked about like
we still need to win more games, don't we?
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. But that's the reputation problem that I've spoken about many times. Dragons do suffer a reputation problem, but we've got a lot of talented young players in the region, and with a few more quality additions. Yeah, you're right, Garth. This could be a very excitable squad. It could be even more competitive. But I think Beddle's been an amazing signing, and he's done incredibly well. I did not expect him to be this good in his very first season of URC rugby. He's been incredible. And Nyron Owen and Harry Keddy, they put in a good, solid defensive shift. I should expect 19. Brodie Coughlin put in a fair few tackles at 18, as did Tina Stabia. Tina Stabia listen to this. Tina Stabia made 18 tackles, right? And he made 2 dominant tackles as well. Is he a fly-off or is he a flanker? I can't tell anymore.
And he won a turnover at one point.
He's outrageous, isn't he? He is absolutely outrageous. And you can't not like him when you watch him, because he came
over to the terrace. Did you see him? Did you see him come over to the terrace?
Yeah.
I did say to him, unlucky, but I told him he played well. I said we should have won that. And he just looked at me and went, he was gutted after that. He was generally.
Do you know what? It's good. I want the players to be gutted, because that, how many times have we just been blown away? And now, like, take that hurt and let's drive forward. But yeah, Tines, he had a good game actually. Well, it was a game that suited him, wasn't it? Lots of defending.
But I'm going to say something relatively controversial, but consistent with it being.
Here we go.
Yeah,
come on now.
He's a great 10, not necessarily great 10 for us. I think we need somebody who's a bit more creative, but I also like the fact he makes as many tackles as a back rower. But I'll live with it because he's really put the effort in for us. But I would just like a bit more distribution. But
what's that rumor about him going to the Bulls as well online?
Oh, there's some account. Yeah, I think I know the person behind it, but he's saying that he's in discussions with the Bulls. I mean, I find that a bit strange, to be honest. He has signed a 2-year deal. I like to know who the source is for that. I don't know. It might be true. I don't know, but it just seems unlikely at this stage. But we'll see. We shall see. But it's an interesting move, mind, if it did come off.
It's surprising. He moved to us to not uproot his family who were based in Cardiff now. And he's surely signed more than a 1-year deal with us anyway.
Yeah, he said he wanted to stay in Wales for his family and his children because they were settled in Cardiff. That's what he said, didn't he?
Yeah.
So, listen, I really like Tines de Beer. He's a very, very likeable player. And you can understand why Cardiff fans liked him as much as they did. Well, until they realised that he signed for us and then they didn't like him so much then. It was hyping up how brilliant Callum Sheedy was. But
that went well.
Yeah. I have never, ever rated and never will rate Callum Sheedy. Ever. Sorry.
No, he's too inconsistent for me.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. He can have good games. He is a decent player, but I'm just not convinced by Callum Sheedy ever. Even with that Bristol, I wasn't a fan of his. Anyway, we digress.
That's not like us.
One of my biggest takeaways from this game, and I talked about it on the last pod, I said if we want to beat the Ospreys, or at least give ourselves a chance, we had to front up to them, and we had to get parity up front. And one of the most pleasing things for me was I thought we matched them physically. We went toe to toe with them. Now, if you look at what happened when Cardiff came to the Brewery Field, they were bullied. Ospreys bullied them. They outmuscled them. They bullied Scarlets when they played down at Park Scarlets. Ospreys didn't bully us. We stood up to them. And that was a strong Ospreys team. Yeah, I know they were missing, they had Wales internationals, but you look at that team on paper, that was still a very strong Ospreys team. And let's not forget, they did have Ruben Morgan-Williams and Gareth Thomas given back to him from the Wales camp. So that's what pleased me. We didn't take a backward step. When other teams have been bullied and dominated by Ospreys, we didn't do that. We went toe-to-toe physically. And that made me very happy. And I think that we have a
stronger team on paper than I thought it was likely to be, didn't it?
But I said that to you. I said
you
said on the pod, I had Ospreys fans moaning and groaning, your favourites, we got all these boys missing. And I was like, no, you're talking bollocks, because you still got like some Moriarty, you got Morse, you got Ryan Smith, you got Dan Cassande. I can list off all these brilliant players you got, because Ospreys have the best depth out of all 4 regions. I've said it for a long time, and I still think that's the case now. I know Cardiff are above them in the table, but Ospreys got a better team than Cardiff. They got much better depth. And I think that showed as well on Saturday. Ryan Smith has been a great signing for him, by the way. Australian lock.
Yeah, he's a spicy get, and I quite liked him.
He was good for the
Morgan
Reds.
Morse didn't do a lot, mind, did he? Considering, Ospreys fans think he's, walks on water.
Well, he should have had a yellow card. That's what should have happened.
Ospreys fans think everybody is great.
No, Gareth doesn't, though, does he? He doesn't think at all about the Dragons players. You do hype up our players a lot, though, Gareth. Let's be fair.
Gareth
I think we're all guilty of it.
You know what? It's been playing on my mind already. We've said Brody didn't have a great game, and then you said his tackle stats, and you think even if he's not had a great game, he's still brilliant, isn't he?
But
defensively,
we should have had about 15, 20 boys in the Wales squad.
100%. We should be top 3 in the URC now.
We were singing at one point, we're going to win the league.
Who said that? Did you sing that?
Me, We were
Course
all
he's sung
singing it.
I don't think I sung that. I
I
wouldn't
think
have
Lofi
embarrassed
started
myself.
that. When we
Yeah.
were winning, we were singing, "We're going to win the league."
Yeah, that's
And
not
now
the kind
you're
of
going
thing
to
I would say.
believe us, and now you're going to believe us, and now you're going to believe us. We're going to win the league.
Well, we got
Oh.
more songs than Ospreys fans who just
And
sang
people-
Hamilton arias and ole,
People
ole,
were
ole.
also going. So who will we get? Will it be a home or away draw after we go away and beat Stade Francais? Just like, oh, for fuck's sake. This is too optimistic even for me.
Jesus Christ, it must be optimistic then. It's too optimistic for you. Jesus.
Well, they aren't
Right.
beating Stade Francais away. I'd just like to say that.
Dear me. Funny.
We'll talk about that closer to the time. So, any other takeaways from you two about this game? Any other comments? Anything you want to add about this game? Before we move on.
No.
Oh, one last thing. I'm so annoyed that we got pinged for being too slow to a line out.
We were, though. We were ripping the piss.
But when's that ever given? Oh, I haven't watched it back, so I don't know how bad it was, but that was so frustrating.
I got yellow carded for that once.
Did you really?
Yeah, I bent down. I undone and then one done at one bootless, then did the same one, then stretched, and the ref just looked at me, give a penalty, give me a yellow card.
That was frustrating though, because we'd struggled so long to get out of our half, and we had a line out just inside their half, and then scoffed at possession again when we were really up against it. That really was frustrating.
It's one of those things that some refs give it and some don't. It's like some refs penalise, don't they, the feed in the scrums.
Yeah.
Sometimes refs penalise the scrum halves when they say use it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just one of those things. Some refs do it and others don't.
It's a derby in the mud. Just shut up, ref.
And they give one of our throws for not being straight. There wasn't a straight throw all night. Not by neither side. You know, at one point Moriarty had a lead out to catch her on his own side. Like none of it was straight. Just get on with it.
Yeah, well, we're getting to the. Oops, sorry, my equipment's falling. We'll get into the game in a bit due to the mailbox feature that we got coming up, because there's some very interesting comments that our listeners have made about the game, and we've had a few questions as well, which I'm quite excited to get your answers to. So we look forward to that in a bit. Before then, just a reminder that you can find us on YouTube. You can subscribe to us on your podcast apps and leave us a review. 5 stars on Apple, Spotify. That'll get you a shout out on this pod. And can I ask a favor? If you are watching us on YouTube, can you just please like the video, because that really helps us a lot. And also, you should see, if you are watching this on YouTube, a pop-up shop at the bottom of the screen. If you click on that, you'll see some merchandise for sale. We got t-shirts, hoodies, and mugs with our motto, "It's the hope that kills you," which has always been an appropriate motto for the Dragons and for this very podcast. So I definitely want to get my hands on the mug. The mug looks nice. As do the hoodies as well. Yeah, so if you fancy some merch for the pod, then click on the link below if you're watching this on YouTube. Right, Gavin, let's get your Gwent Rugby roundup. What's been happening this weekend?
So a lot more rugby this weekend, a mixture of cup and league. So if we start with the Super Rugby Cymru Cup, Swansea versus Ebervale was postponed, sadly. But Newport at 21, Pontypool 21.
Yeah.
A lot of Dragons players involved in that game.
Joe Westwood was man of the match for Newport.
Was he?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, well
Joe
done,
Westwood.
Joe.
I could see him tearing up at that level.
I think it's been good for him actually to get some game time now in Super Rugby coming. I think that's the best thing for his development.
Yeah,
he can benefit from that.
Into the Welsh Prem, Merthyr 26, Newbridge 22, Cross Keys 23, Beddau 28, Pontypridd 32, Bargoed 21. Championship, Bedwas, good win for them, 40 points to 10, home to Mountain Ash. Bridgend Athletic versus Penaltha was postponed. Imagine there was a worse pitch in Bridgend than the Brewery Field. Just imagine that. Glamorgan Wanderers 63, Abtley Blaenau Gwent 7, St Joseph's 26, Rumney 19, St Peter's 49, Talawine 14, and Annisd versus Aberdeen was postponed. Into Division 1, Bedlinog versus Abergvenny was postponed, and Blackwood edged Newport High School All Boys 16 points to 12. Into Division 2, Abercarn 37, St Gennis 17, Cwmbran 20, Pontypool United 21. Bet that was a fiercely fought game. Newport Saracens versus Caldecott was postponed. Pill Harriers.
Gypsies.
Was it really?
It was. Gypsies in the car park.
Oh, God. There used to be a team. I used to play for Portsmouth, and there was a team out towards Southampton Airport called Stoneham, and their games often used to get postponed because gypsies used to camp on their pitch.
Nightmare, isn't it? Dear me.
Pill Harriers 27, Ask 28, another close game there, and Rumney 15, Croeso Ceiliog 10. Into Division 3, Cillian versus Nantyglow was postponed. Gwynafyd 42, Chepstow 19, Machen 60, Risker 11.
Oh, that's where the boys in front of me on the bus played in that game. They had a great day out. They were in high spirits. They were
Machen players, all right.
Yeah. Good lads, to be fair. Yeah, they were pleased. They were like, oh, yeah, we smashed Risker today, so they were in good spirits.
New Panteg 24, Fleur de Lis 14. And Division 3 Cup, Regos versus Garndiffe was postponed. Yeah, what a surprise. A cup game in January in terrible weather, and the Regos was postponed. Have you ever played up there?
I haven't, no.
Honestly, I refuse to believe Mount Everest is the highest place in the world because I reckon Regos Rugby Club is. Oh, God, don't want to think about it. Division 4, Abertosog 8, Whitehead 12, Crumlin 31, Crickhowell 12, Llanilleth 0, Oakdale 14, Pontypridd 5, Derry 15, and Tredigr Ironsides 14, Bedwellty 40. Into Division 5, Bargoed Athletic versus Abersychan was postponed. Betos beat Trinant 47-7, and Hartridge convincing win for them, beating Fordside 50 points to 5. Hollybush 16, Hafod yr Ynys 6. Into the Division 5 Cup, Bargoed Athletic, the reason their game was postponed against Abersychan, they faced Bridgend Athletic 2s and won 41 points to 15. And Blackwood Stars versus Tondy Athletic was postponed. So I believe that's a semi-final. So Bargoed Athletic will be in the final, I believe. Please let me know if I'm wrong. Division 6, Girlin versus Hirwine and Mago versus New Tredigr was postponed. Penaltha Athletic beat Brynifel 24-0, and St Julian's High School All Boys 41, Old Hilarians 19. Women's rugby Premiership games were postponed. Gwalior Lightning were in the Fallow week in the Celtic Challenge. But in the East Wales Women's Division, Ebervale 27, Blackwood 5. And our regular updates from our friends at the DOSC. He says, quickly trying to find the right part of his phone. Old man beaten by technology once again.
This is a regular theme now. This is Gav, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I should just probably not use technology. It would make life a lot easier for everybody. Sorry. Just talk amongst yourselves, everyone. Right, so here we are. Another successful supporters bus trip in the books. A huge thank you to Christian and Rachel Hyde for their brilliant organisation. Everything ran like clockwork. It's fantastic to have the pod's very own Gareth and Jamie join us on board. We're thrilled to confirm that Jamie will be back on the bus for the upcoming Scarlets game. We just hope he isn't expecting another Kit Kat this time around.
I absolutely am. I am expecting another Kit Kat. I want to say thank you as well, because that was a really nice touch. I wasn't expecting that, so yeah, thank you.
He's treated like royalty.
Yeah. Well,
he acts like it as well.
Yeah.
No, I do not. That's not fair.
But I do have
Only
him
shakes hands with a glove on.
I have him in my phone as the King of Newport, so
I am the Paul McCartney of this pod, as everyone knows.
Yes, and I'm Pete Best. Scarlets away, second bus confirmed due to incredible demand. We are officially running a second bus for the Scarlet fixture. Bookings are being taken now, so get in touch to secure your seat. We are so grateful for your incredible and continued support. You make these trips what they are. And sadly, the All-Stars game against Stafford was postponed due to waterlogged pitches at Ebervale. A friend of mine back home described it as being wetter than an otter's pocket. So, it's I'm not surprised the game didn't happen. And that's our Gwent Rugby Roundup.
Lovely stuff. Yeah. Just to reiterate as well, it was a really good trip. Christian and Rachel do a great job, don't they, Garth, of organising these trips.
Yeah, really good. Fair play.
So, thank you both. Thank you for the Kit Kat. Loved that. Really nice touch. Yes, I do want another Kit Kat now when I go to the Scarlets. Just because. So
I'm just saying I like bounties,
Oh, no one likes bounties, Gav. Do you honestly like bounties?
Yeah,
I'm
a bounty fan.
Yeah, I love a bounty.
Oh, when we have a tub of celebrations in the house, right? Nobody touches the bounty. Nobody likes the bounty. And there's that scene in Gavin and Stacey, isn't there? When Nessa hands out the celebration as presents, and it's like, oh, I got a bounty. Everyone goes, oh, sorry about that. It's one of my favourite Gavin and Stacey scenes. I can't stand bounties.
Do you know the worst thing that's happened in the 21st century? When they got rid of the red bounties.
Dark chocolate.
What was the red one? The dark, yeah.
Dark chocolate.
Yeah, lovely. Nice.
So they don't do them anymore, do they?
No,
don't see them.
No. Can't get a toffee crisp anymore either.
No, I don't like toffee crisps, man. You like all the awful chocolate bars.
Toffee crisp is elite.
You've been telling me you like double-decker bars next.
No one likes a double-decker.
No.
Oh, right, so that's where we draw the line, is it? Double-decker bars, right, okay.
The Mars bars with pretensions.
I tell you what I do like, and I feel like I'm in the minority. I love a Kit Kat, obviously. That goes without saying, a Kit Kat chunky. But you know what my favourite chocolate bar is? And it's controversial. A Fry's Turkish Delight. I love a Fry's Turkish Delight.
The only other person I know who likes Fry's Turkish Delight is my mother, who keeps a constant collection of them in the fridge.
They're like an old lady's chocolate bar. I love them.
You and the 77-year-old woman are fans of Turkish Delights.
I remember when I was a kid, one of the family members went to Turkey, and they knew I liked Turkish. Like, I'll bring you back some Turkish Delight, and they brought it back. But it was the proper Turkish Delight, isn't it? It was just,
no chocolate
powder. I was like, "Where's the chocolate then?" And she went, "No, they're not supposed to. That's not the proper Turkish Delight." And I remember being really disappointed.
It's not the same either, is it? It's
no.
Rose water flavour and all that. It's not quite as sweet.
I don't like actual Turkish Delight. If you give me an Indian sweet over a Turkish Delight any time.
Yeah.
But what about Fry's Turkish Delight, Gav?
The chocolate's really waxy, and then you've got plasticine inside it. I'm not interested.
Okay, you are entitled to your incorrect opinion. That's absolutely fine.
We can't move on now until I know, Gav, what is your favourite chocolate bar?
My favourite chocolate bar is a caramel.
That's fair.
Bit boring, isn't it? Bit boring.
Just sweet.
The Twix. Twix for me.
My God, what's wrong with you?
What's that? You got chocolate, biscuit, caramel. What more do you want in your life?
Oh, Twix is I don't know. They're a bit old manish. My old man loved the Twix.
Can't beat the classics, mate.
Yeah, true. I also like a fruit and nut, but I don't think you can buy them anymore.
No, you can.
You can get a fruit and nut, yeah.
Let us know what your favourite chocolate bar is if you're watching it on YouTube. Let us know in the comment section. Is there anyone out there? No, hang on. Is there anyone out there that likes Turkish Delight?
No,
like me. Am I the only person on the planet that loves a Fry's?
You and my mother. I told you.
Oh, there we are.
It's a shame we can't find a way to make this pod any shorter for some of the listeners, isn't it?
I said before we come on, let's try and make it short now. Let's make it snappy, and we're talking about chocolate bars. But
slightly self-indulgent moment, but
Okay, let's move on from chocolate. I want to bring back a feature for this pod. We haven't done it for a while, and I used to like when we did it, but I think we're going to do it every now and again because I think when you do it every week, it loses its value. But we've decided to open the mailbox and get the thoughts comments and questions from our lovely listeners. We've had a few questions. We've had loads of people submit stuff. So thank you very much. We can't read them all out, but I do appreciate nonetheless. Excuse me a minute. Right, let's start. So Niall James gets in touch. He says, another missed opportunity, but better than last season. He says last season, that game, we would have conceded 3 or 4 tries at the end. And I think it's a massive step forward. With 15 on the field, they struggled to break us down. They did. Ospreys did struggle to break us down.
Absolutely correct.
Yeah. On to Benetton next, Upper Dragons. Alid Bolin Edwards says, amazing shift from the players, losing bonus point not to be sniffed at. What Dale has done with this defence is amazing. He said he thought Aneirin had a great game apart from one kick. Shea Hope did well. Tinas won the best tackling 10s in the game. Yeah, I agree with that. Angus, again, though, showing what proper 15 looks like. He says, if Levi is the general, then Angus is the field marshal.
I like that.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah. Enjoy the break, lads. Look forward to a new episode every week. Cheers for that, Alid. Andrew Jenkins said, we had the win in touching distance and twice kicked the ball away aimlessly, including one out on the full on 70 minutes. Yeah, that was, we know that
was a stinker, that was.
He says, I don't want to single out one player, and I know you guys don't like to focus on individual players, but we can't avoid the drop-off when Shea goes off. To be fair, we haven't avoided it. We've talked about it in quite some detail on this pod, but I get his point. It's alarming, and then our attack looks disjointed and goes to shit, resulting in aimless kicking. He said that kick led to a chain of events, including the yellow card that should have been avoided, and I called it at the time it would be a turning point with both props out on their feet, which is understandable given they were playing most of the game. Yeah, that's understandable. I mean, Philo did say Domini's yellow card, that was a tired tackle, is what he described it as. It was. It absolutely was. Gutted at the final whistle. We should have seen that one out and got the long-awaited away win. Right, here's a question for you, okay? And I like this question. I'm going to direct this to you, Gavin, okay? Because I know you do refereeing. So this is for you now. Alex Thomas asks this. Why are Dragons held to different rules by the URC officials? Because that's what it feels like when outrageous decisions go against us and not for us when they should. The inconsistency is laughable. We saw it last night against Ospreys. We saw it in the Leinster game. The list is never ending. We also saw it at the Munster game as well.
Yeah.
Gavin, why do you think Dragons are held to a different standard by URC officials?
I don't think they are, personally, but... And I say this as somebody who referees. Refereeing's bloody hard, right? It's really tough. And, you know, I referee kids rugby and old man's rugby. I am not refereeing people who can run fast, apart from the Colts game I refereed and I did my hamstring. But it's hard to get everything right. But the problem is, I think the standard of refereeing in the URC is poor. And it's not that it's unfair or biased or anything else. It's just poor refereeing, and lots of stuff gets missed. And the biggest issue with Ben Conter for me wasn't that he made terrible decisions, which he did, but he was inconsistent in the terrible decisions.
Yes.
Because if I make an error early on when I'm refereeing, I'll just keep pinging that same thing. I get obsessed about driving beyond the ruck, and I always referee that. And some referees wouldn't bother doing it. The problem was he did nothing consistently. He called a throw not straight when none of them were straight. He called one bind, but nobody was properly binding, because when Gareth Thomas realised he could get away with it, he was short bind as well. So there was just lots of inconsistencies. And when I first refereed the game years ago, my mate put on Twitter saying, Nigel Owen saying, oh, any advice for Gav? He's a terrible player. I hope he's a better ref. And Nigel Owen said, just be consistent, Gav. And that sticks in my head. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, that's it. I've spoken about this before, because I don't like normally having this kind of conversation about referees, officials. I try to stay away from it.
Because if they weren't doing it, none of us would be watching it, playing it, anything else.
But I kind of get Alex's point, because I think this season we have been hard done by on a number of calls. We don't seem to get the 50-50 calls. And there is such a thing, and it's quite common in all sports. there is a thing called unconscious bias.
Of course.
And I
Well, not
think the
just in
drag
sport, in life.
exactly, but I think dragons suffer from unconscious bias in the URC, and that's down to their reputation. And that's why they don't get the 50-50 calls. Now, we saw it against Leinster, and to be fair, the URC owned up. They got that wrong, and they apologised, rightly so. We saw it against Munster, and we saw it on Ospreys as well Saturday night. Moore should have had the yellow card. I don't want to keep banging on about that, but we do seem to get the wrong. Well, we don't seem to get the rub of the green, do we? In certain
That's the
decisions.
inconsistency, isn't it? That's the inconsistency.
Yeah. But does that come down to unconscious bias, do you think?
I think it's down to poor refereeing, which might involve some unconscious bias. But if you consider the best referees, the very best ones, like I'll use Wayne Barnes as an example. There's certain things Wayne Barnes just every time will ping and will communicate about really, really clearly. And that's what makes him a great. Luke Pearce is the same, really consistent about certain things, really clear about what happens at the breakdown and what he will allow and what he won't allow. And it just makes it easier because players know what to expect.
Yeah.
Ben Connor the tackle off the ball was a howler and he should have gone to the TMO there, but
Yeah. I don't want to specifically focus on Ben Connor. I'm making a general point here. I mean, it is a fact that, the bigger teams do get the 50-50 calls. But like I said, that's just a tale as old as time in any sport. We see it in the NFL, we see it in Premier League football. That's just how it is. Gareth, I want to come to you though. Do you feel that Dragons suffer from unconscious bias? And do you think because we are the Dragons, we get robbed on certain calls? Because that's what a lot of supporters are saying. And it does feel like this season we have been on the wrong end of some really bad calls.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I agree with what you guys are saying. I don't think it's because we're the Dragons. I just think any team in any sport, if you're to the lower end of the table, you're often under the pump. You probably end up having more of those decisions to be made in a game anyway.
100%.
So there's more chance for error. But there are times when I think other teams get the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
But it's down to us to change that. Okay, it might mean we have to win the hard way. But to change those perceptions, you've got to win more games.
Yeah, I've been saying that.
That's how we get the respect. Yeah. And we're all really pleased with how the Dragons are going at the minute. We've had good results at home. We're showing the fight we've asked for on the road. But it needs to, continue. We can't just do this for a few months. This needs to be the norm for us now and keep getting results over the line. And then hopefully we'll have less and less of these problems. And look, I'm sure Leinster have decisions go against them, but when they beat a team by 40 points, they probably don't dwell on it.
Yeah,
it probably has a bigger impact on us because it's finer margins when you're in a battle.
Do you think we need to do what Mac Hansen did a couple of years ago? Remember, he had that massive rant saying that everyone's biased against Connacht and they never get the rub of the green. Like everyone said, he had a lot of criticism for that because it wasn't rugby values and you can't undermine referees like that. But sometimes I think, sometimes you've got to be cruel to be kind and just say how you really feel,
Well,
and I do feel like, sometimes we are a bit passive at the Dragons. But then Philo did say last week there were a few decisions, they didn't agree with. And we did complain to the URC about, what happened in against Leinster, at home. And they apologise. So maybe we need to start making a bit more noise about this.
Not the way that Bundyaki does, though.
But I think it was Mac Hampton, wasn't it?
No, Bundyaki's been banned for
recently,
going into the
ref. Of course, sorry, I missed that.
Room and slamming doors and allegedly saying some rude things to him.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. But I do think it's something the club should definitely talk to the URC about because they have been on the end of some really poor calls. And it's frustrating, isn't it? It's so frustrating.
Of course it is, yeah.
So I understand why fans always feel like we've been robbed. It's not always the case, but I kind of understand because we have been on the end of some really poor calls. But anyway, we'll move on. Thank you for that question. Samantha Jane from the Black Feather said, I'm so pleased for you guys and the change in Dragons this last season. Things are starting to click and we were phenomenally lucky to get that win last night. Yes, you were, Sam. Yes, you were. Congratulations. It was a good old derby. We knew it'd be an arm wrestle, and Yeah, it's the one that got away, but congratulations to our Ospreys friends and our listeners. Right, we've had a couple of questions about recruitment. So Andy Salter has asked, given that we should have better funding again next year, do we need to recruit for, sorry, where do we need to recruit for next season? So given that we should have better funding again next year, where do we need to recruit for next season? And then Jason Matthews asks, improvement is plain for all to see this season, but where do we need to recruit? Gareth, where do we need to recruit?
It's an interesting question, isn't it? And the budget should be going up by around 700k. We know we'll be having Wayno off the books as well, which I'm sure he was on a well-deserved, but a substantial amount for us.
He'd have been the highest paid.
Yeah. So there's certainly money to play with, and you'd imagine there will be some players let go as well. So you're hoping there's money to invest. I think it's definitely all about quality and positions-wise. Look, you always want props and locks.
Yeah.
You always do. That the improvement this year from having a scrum and the forwards going well is immense. So more props, more locks, a number 8 to replace Wayno. And I'd love an enormous wing, like an absolute animal on the wing.
A wing and a centre, I think we need.
Yeah. What, 12 or 13, are you thinking?
A 13, I think.
Yeah, because if you think an Ivan Owen, Ackerman, and Paya can play 12, Paya probably needs to go on the treadmill before the next game. He looked a bit chunky.
Right,
when he moved to 8, he didn't look out the place.
Yeah.
We've spoken about this in the group chat. So it was great to see the return for Tulipaya. To be fair, it was really nice to see him. When he actually came onto the field, me and Gav were a little bit surprised. It looks like he's been hitting the Toby Carveries pretty hard. He's put on a bit of weight.
It was a definite, when you got the Toby Carvery. Oh, what meat would you like? Would you like beef, pork, or gammon? All of them, please.
He's on the large plate.
I'm going to say he upgraded. He paid $1.99 extra or whatever it is. He's upgraded to the king size.
Yeah.
He's been at the Toby Carveries big time.
4 Yorkies.
Yeah, Gareth, you were quite surprised, wasn't you, by how big he was? Yeah, that was a bit of a shock. But then it's like I said to you, he hasn't played for months, so.
Yeah, but he broke his arm, not his legs. What's he been doing?
He's been down to Toby Carveries. I'm telling you, that's genuinely down to culture, having Toby Carveries.
Let's hope he gets, fit, and I hope he wasn't rushed back or anything. But you're a pro rugby player, mate. That I don't expect to see you turning up excessively overweight.
Bit of conditioning work.
I don't think it's not a great look, to be fair. But yeah, back on that, I think, Gav, you touched on it for the Ospreys game, that the aerial battle wasn't great.
No.
A winger that, is phenomenal in the air and can also just steamroll people would be a lovely little addition to the back line.
I think we could do with a bigger winger, and just anybody who can compete aerially, because we lack that. In terms of.
Fair enough. Daniel Green gets in touch. He said, we've improved a lot. Still a long way to go, and we need to recruit and develop all over. Morris is coming along nicely at loose head, as is Woodman. Yeah, I think Ray Woodman's had a very, very good season.
Brilliant player, isn't he?
Yeah. He says he likes to see Ackerman and Anderson get some time in the back line.
That's so hard, isn't it? Two players that I'm so excited by at the Dragons. I love Harry Ackerman. He's got power to his game.
Yeah.
And with that power, he's got a fantastic offloading game, back out of the back of the hand, everything.
Yeah.
But an Ivan Owen is so consistent and so vital to us at the minute. Then how do you possibly make that switch? And same with Hugh Anderson. I don't think you put Hugh Anderson on the wing, because defensively he struggles there. And you can't get in at fullback because Angus is so good. But it's nice that we've got Hugh Anderson and Ackerman struggling to get game time because we've got players playing well in their positions.
Yeah, two talented young players. I do think Hugh Anderson's got some work on his mind, particularly around his defence, his kicking and the aerial game.
But very high ceiling, though.
very high ceiling, and the raw materials are there. I like him a lot. Very talented player.
I really like him.
Yeah, he's got a few work-ons though. Right, this is an interesting question. This is from Gavin Potts. Should the region announce some signings for next season to continue the generally positive feeling despite the last two disappointing results? Now, here's what I think. I think it's okay to announce some re-signings. You know, Ospreys have been doing it. That's fine. No problem with re-signings. I don't think they should be announcing new signings just yet. I don't think the time is right. I think with everything going on in Welsh rugby right now, it's very delicate. I'm not sure now is the time to be announcing new signings. I don't think the optics would be particularly good at this time. That's how I feel about it. Well, what do you two think?
I don't think anyone's going to be allowed to announce it at the minute.
No,
because of the situation, and I think there'll be a WRU mandate.
Yeah, and it's worth remembering as well, we haven't agreed anything yet. We haven't signed up to this new agreement. So that's a sticking point. But I don't think this is... Maybe they have made some new signings. I don't know. I know that I've been reliably informed that John Westwood's been very busy speaking to a lot of players. Maybe we have signed one or two players. I don't think now is the right time with everything going on in Welsh rugby to be announcing new signings. That would make us out to be the bad guys again, and that's not good.
I've heard that all the Welsh sides have been looking at players.
Well,
you know,
the
recruitment work is happening. I just think there's a bit of a bottleneck at them in the WRU saying, wait until we've got the final settled, final setup settled, and then we'll see what happens.
Tell you what, if you're any player thinking about joining one of the regions and they're like, oh yeah, we really want you, we can't quite put a contract in front of you just yet, and then you get an offer from somewhere else, once again, we're just being massively hamstrung by the WRU. And we can't be like, oh, we didn't really approach any players because we felt sad for the Ospreys. Well, we still got to crack on.
Yeah. We all feel sad for the Ospreys, but...
Yeah, we don't want to come across as insensitive, but also we have got to sort of, look after our own business and get on with things.
Although there are people online who do like to get annoyed about everything about the Dragons, it's not really relevant to them, is it?
We're a professional rugby team. We need to have professional rugby players.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. If it was like, oh, Dragons have, bought Dan Edwards out of his contract, then fair enough, they could be a bit pissed off. But for making other signings, then
Gareth, that's not happening.
No, exactly. Yeah, that's not happening anyway.
I've accepted the patch isn't coming to us. I don't think David Havili is looking for houses in Killeen at any point. and
do you reckon Anton Tapont is signing? As Rhys Blumberg said on Scrum 5, remember they said they had that board meeting. They said, why can't we sign Anton Tapont?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that on Scrum 5? When I heard that, right, I burst out laughing.
Toulouse and Newport are very similar in many ways.
Oh. Of course they are, yeah. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, so listen, if Dragons were to announce a couple of re-signings, I haven't got an issue with that. I think, Rio is out the contract. That would be good. Doing the Six Nations, a bit of good news. Happy to announce re-signs. In terms of new signings, I don't think the time is right.
No, I agree.
With everything going on, not now.
That's an interesting one, sorry, because they mentioned new signings and the budget. I wonder if our youngsters, when are their contracts up? Because people like Woodman and all are going to be expecting a heftier contract than they did when they last signed. So I'm hoping they've all got another year. I know Shane Lewis-Hughes is out of contract and he'll probably cost a bit more because he came cheap. And I'd hope we'd look to retain him.
Oh, yeah, I'd definitely keep Shane Lewis-Hughes. I think he's a very important squad member.
Yeah. He gives us, he does give us a bit of strength. He's probably fallen a bit down the pecking order now, hasn't he? But because
Woodman has made that 6 years ago.
Keddy is great form at the minute. But it's nice to have those choices, isn't it? If you think about what our back row looked like last year, then we had to pick Jumbo at 6 one game, didn't we? Oh, he certainly came on at
Sam Scarf.
Sam Scarf
did,
yeah.
I remember that was Sam Scarf's professional debut. He was a hooker, But Glasgow, he ended up in the back row. That's poor development. That's just ridiculous, really.
You
But
know, you can get away with it second team rugby, probably not in the URC.
no,
Yeah.
definitely not. But yeah. What else we got? Dino, he's been in touch. He said that was one that got away. Yes, injuries in the first half didn't help, and I think Wayno and Ben were missed. Well, yeah, they were because they're our best players, but we knew we didn't have them, and we had to crack on. But yeah, you're right. There is one that got away, and losing our starting props within the first 12 minutes did not help our cause. But I still think we should have won it. But there we are.
I agree. No, I agree.
That's just the way it is. Right. This next question. So this particular player has been a hot topic of debate after the game on the coach and on social media. Okay. Ellis Sanford. Hello, Ellis. He sits in front of me in the Bisley, him and his family. He's been
What
in touch.
chocolate does he have at halftime?
I don't know. I'll ask him when I see him. I'll ask him when I see him, actually. That's a good question. Right. This is what he said. And quite a number of people have talked about this today. And I've made my views on it pretty clear. But this is what he's asking. Is Rhodri Williams done? And Scott Asserati also asks the same question, saying, is Rhodri ready for retirement? It certainly seems that way. He's been awful as of late. I'm going to step back from this one now because I have been saying on this pod for weeks about how poor Rodri's been. So I'm stepping back now and I'm letting you two answer this. Gareth, you go first. Is Rhodri Williams done?
I don't think he's done, but I don't think he currently merits a spot in the 23. And I think we need to be really brave to not pick him because he has been really good for the Dragons. Personally, I'm not sure his contract situation, but I would actually give him another year. I think he's been a great leader at the Dragons and a great player, gives experience, but that doesn't mean you warrant a spot in the starting 23. I don't know what Philo's seeing off field that we're not seeing at the minute. Niall Armstrong's looked good whenever he's entered the field. I really like Morgan Lloyd. I think him and Shea Hope have got a great little rivalry there. I'd like to see more of Morgan Lloyd. I think he's got a great show and go. So yeah, I don't think he's done, but he's certainly not playing well. He's not playing. I think last year, Jamie, he was your player of the season.
He was very good last season.
He
Rhodri.
was really good.
And let's not forget, he was in the Wales squad.
Yep.
As
Deservedly.
on the back of his really good form. But I am, well, I said it a lot on this pod. I'm just really alarmed at how poor he's been this season. And it's like something's not right. I don't know what it is.
And I don't mind that, okay, if there's a drop off in the pace of the play, because Shea Hope is dictating our pace of play at the moment, and he's got a lovely rhythm. But with Rodri's coming on, you're picking Rhodri to nail the basics and control the game.
Yeah.
And then when he puts that kick out on the full, okay, look, it is really, really marginal, but I don't care. Like, I don't want to see that error. It is basic. Yeah, it's not great, is it? And he's not actually having an impact where Rhodri, he's always had an impact, and you thought he could be great off the bench. He's seemed to have just, lost a bit of zip. But I wouldn't write a player of Rodri's quality off yet.
And he is only 32.
He might actually benefit from a little break not being in the 23.
That would be a big call, though, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Because he is like a Welsh international. He's been such an important player for us for a number of years. And like I said, he is one of my favourite Dragons players. But we're in a situation, people keep saying about the drop-off, but this is what happened last year. But ironically, Rhodri Williams was the form scrum half. Yeah, and then we had a drop-off with Dane Blacker, didn't we? We said every time Dane Blacker comes on the field, there's a drop-off. Unfortunately, now for Rhodri, he's the drop-off when he comes on for Shea Hope. And it's, like I said, I just think it's really alarming because he has been bad. Like, I try not to single out players, but there is no doubt he's getting absolute pelters on the Dragons forms, but he has been really bad. Gav?
Yeah, I totally agree with Gareth saying that, he probably doesn't warrant place in the 23, but, the guy's an international and he's been playing professional rugby for, 13 years. Is it my place to say he's finished? No, certainly it isn't. Does he need to improve to get into our side? Absolutely.
Yeah, so the answer to the question is Rhodri Williams done? No, in our opinion, but there's absolutely no denying that perhaps he could do with maybe not being involved for a couple of games and make him really fight for that jersey. try and rediscover that spark. But like I said, I love Rodri to bits. He was my player of the season last year. Players go through this though, don't they? A lot of good players go through this. They have a barren run of form. It's just the way it is. That's sport.
Class is permanent, form isn't.
Exactly. Hopefully Rodri will bounce back. I hope so, because like I said, he's one of those players like Sam Davis-Rodri. I think a lot of the fan base give him a lot of shit. And okay, sometimes it might be deserved, but a lot of the time he wasn't. Like Sam Davis always had a lot of shit from most supporters, and a lot of it was unfair. Yeah. And I think Rodri's just in that bracket now. But I want to see Rodri back to his best. I really don't like what I'm seeing though at the moment. It's hopefully get back to his the form. We know he's a good player. He's a Welsh international. He's a good player, but hope he rediscovers that form. Richard Jones says the turnaround in this 10-week block has been remarkable and the best run of performances and results for a long time. But there is a slight feeling of frustration, particularly with the Leinster, Munster, Ospreys results. We perhaps could and should have won those games. Yeah, I mean, you could add Cardiff to that as well. It is worth remembering, although we have improved, we still only won 2 games in the URC.
Yeah.
So we need to, I don't want to be, I don't want to drag it down and be negative. And I don't want to be a negative Nigel, but we have still only won 2 games in the URC.
There has been improvement in performance. There hasn't been improvement in results.
Welsh Viking says, I don't want to whinge, but a shoulder to the head in the first half isn't a yellow card, but it is in the second. Yeah, I called it out. It was bullshit. Bad call. The progress made has been great to see. It was much better discussing or being fed up with close losses away than why we shipped 50 points without a whimper up the Dragons. The only thing I'd say about that, it is fine. We are more competitive. We're picking up bonus points in defeat, which is why we wanted. But when you lose like that in the 80th minute...
Oh, it's heartbreaking.
It's really, really hard to take. I came away from Bridgend gutted on Saturday night because I knew that was a game that we could have and should have won. That was our game. That was our win.
I had an argument with my dog after the game.
Yeah, I was genuinely gutted. So I think when you get battered, at least for me, I think it's easy to accept. You just get very angry. And it's like, you're not gutted. It's a different feeling. You just hold your hands and go, well, do you know what? We're not good enough, or the best team won, fair enough. But I think it's much harder when you lose games like Munster and Ospreys in the manner that we have, heartbreaking losses like that, because you know that we should have won. It's a different kind of feeling, isn't it? But we have improved. There's no denying that. We are far more competitive, and we will get that away win Monday. We will. Hopefully we'll get it this season, but I feel like we're getting closer and closer.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming.
It absolutely is coming. It should have happened Saturday, but it didn't. But we move on. Darren Elgar said, we are going in the right direction. When we do win our first away game in the URC since forever, he said, it might open the floodgates, just like the win against Lyon did for home form. Yeah, maybe we'll see it. It's a fair point, isn't it? Once you get that win, that breeds confidence then. So once we get this monkey off our back, get an away win, who knows? Maybe it will lead to a couple more. We shall see. Dad gets in touch. He says, we need to recruit wisely for next season. We got some great young talent coming through. We just need to secure a little more depth. We are a couple of signings away from a very formidable team, but we're definitely going in the right direction. Yep, agree, Dad. Yep,
spot on.
Yep. Right. Final question. This is for you, Gareth. Loaf has been in touch.
Oh, God.
Mr. Loaf.
Makes me nervous straight away.
Loaf. So for those who don't know, this is Gareth's brother. This is his question. I want you to think about this now carefully, okay? He asks, if the Dragons played against Wales at Rodney Parade with our full-strength team, Carter and Waino for us, not for Wales, okay? So Ben Carter and Wainwright for Dragons. Do you think we could beat them?
This is
could we beat Wales at Rodney
scenario
Parade?
I get thrown at me many times a day from him. It's just... Luckily, he's kept the inner workings of his head and only spilled that over.
I love how his brain works. I absolutely love how his brain works.
Why have you said that, bro? What mad scenario is this?
That's the kind of question my son asks me.
Yeah.
If Arsenal played England, would Arsenal win? I don't know.
Dear me. Yeah, we'd batter them. I mean, what? If the Dragons are home, we beat anyone. You send the All Blacks over here, we'll do them. Don't worry about that. Rodney Parade's a fortress. I don't know.
Gavin, would Dragons beat Wales and Rodney Parade if we had a full strength team?
No. Yeah,
Of course they won't.
I don't know what else to say to that other than no.
Who would Loaf be cheering for?
You do a half each.
Actually, so do you know what? And this is going off on a tangent, good old long pod. When we went to watch Bristol Gloucester, there wasn't much of an atmosphere, even though we were in a packed shed. It wasn't that loud. So at one point, Loaf started chanting for Bristol, and loads of Bristol fans started cheering. And halfway through the chant, he started cheering for Gloucester, and a load of Gloucester fans started cheering in. And I was just like, how does he do it? He manages to get the crowd in the palm of his hands. I don't know. It's a gift.
He's got a lot of energy.
Everyone in life is born with a gift, and that's Loaf's. I don't know how he can put it to any better use, to be fair, but yeah,
he's a good lad. He is a good lad, and he's really good to have on the terrace because he will make noise. He will get the Dragons fans cheered. Yeah, he's a good bloke.
And for anyone who's like, he's a big intimidating fella, he is the softest bloke I've ever met in my life. He's a good egg, I love. Oh, look at Jamie smirking. Jamie had a few beers and was just staring at Loaf thinking, oh, could you have him? Because you are the older brother, which, as I have said, only made a difference when we were 12 and 8. Now that he's a couple of inches bigger than me, no, I think Loaf gives me a hiding. But, you know, I'm quicker than him, so I'll run away until he's out of breath.
Oh, there we go. Okay, that's the end now in the mailbox. Thank you to everyone who sent in their comments. We had loads. Just haven't got time to read them. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
We'll get this done in an hour, you said, before we started recording.
Before we started recording, I said, let's get this done in an hour. And it's not been recorded in an hour. No, it hasn't. No. Right, I don't want a full-blown discussion on this, but I would like to get your thoughts and predictions, right? Six Nations coming up, as we know. The most wonderful time of the year. Although I am feeling a bit flat about it. I don't know if it's just because of Welsh rugby, everything going on. I can't. Maybe I'll feel different when the tournament starts on Thursday as well because the Winter Olympics. Yeah. So it's France and Ireland, isn't it? Kicking off on Thursday. Yeah. Feels very low key, but I want to know, where do you think Wales will finish the Six Nations table? Like I said, not a full blown discussion, just short and sweet. I've gone for wooden spoon again, unfortunately. So, Gavin, where do you think Wales will finish?
Last.
Okay. Any particular reason? What was?
Well, I don't see who we're beating, in simplistic terms.
Do you not think that we could beat Scotland or Italy at home? Because I think if we are going to pick up a win, I think it's going to be one of those two teams.
I don't think we're beating Scotland, maybe Italy. But I'm going to Twickenham next week, and I'm doing it with quite a lot of. Well, I'm also trying to work out how I can play rugby at 1 o'clock and get to Twickenham, but that's another issue.
Yeah.
But I just don't see us winning. Mind you, any Dragons fans who go into the game, you know, if you see me, say hello. It'd be nice to see people. But I just don't think we've got a side at the minute. You look at the players in the squad and you think, oh, God, they wouldn't have got in the team 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
It's a very different Wales squad now. I look at the Wales squads that come out now and I just think that the drop-off from the squads that we were naming 6, 7 years ago is just quite remarkable, isn't it? It really is. But that's just where Welsh rugby is. That's just inside times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gareth, you're Mr. Optimistic. Wales, Six Nations. What are you thinking?
Do you know what? I think potentially we don't win a game. I think the most winnable game is Italy, and they're no mugs. And it's the last game, and I think.
Yeah, and Italy and Scotland are the winnable ones, most winnable, and I don't think either of them are that winnable.
My worry is by that last game when we play Italy, what sort of side are we going to be able to field as well? Because we'll pick up bumps. Because I am hoping that we show improvement, and with improvement will be fight. And with fight, and we will have to do a lot of defending, we're going to pick up knocks. So if we've had a few bumps by that Italy game, yeah, I just can't see a win, if I'm honest. It's just a very sad thing to say.
Yeah.
Mr. Warburton, aka Keir Starmer, the man who flip-flops on all his opinions.
The first person who should ever get fucked.
Yes. He predicted Wales to finish fourth. I don't know if you saw his Six Nations team. But now, if Sam is right and Wales finish fourth, that would be a very successful tournament for Wales. If they finish fourth, that would be very, very good.
I am just saying, though, to all the listeners, if there's mushrooms growing in your garden, don't eat them because you'll end up saying stuff like that.
Yes. So are we all saying wooden spoon for Wales?
Yeah.
Yes.
Lovely positive note. Right. Okay. Just before we go,
I got someone to add to my list.
Oh, you've got a fuck list.
Yeah.
Someone to add to that. Oh, sorry. I do apologize.
Right, and I'm not just plucking them out of thin air because, you know, if nobody's been a dick, then nobody's been a dick. But getting added to the list this week, and it is only my opinion, it's not the opinion of the pod, before anyone at the pod, is the Scarlet Supporters Trust in not uniting with the Dragons, the Ospreys, and Cardiff fans against the WIU. So we're fighting to keep 4 regions, but the selfish one-eyed Turks only care about themselves. And I know they don't represent everyone in that area, but Scarlet Supporters Trust, get fucked.
Well, it's Crease 16 you're referring to, isn't it?
Yes.
Because they have got an official supporters club and then there's Crease 16. I think there's a reason why they've done that, to be honest, with regards to going out to tender and stuff. I kind of get it. I've seen people try and justify why they didn't do it. It doesn't look good. The optics don't look good, but I could also kind of see why they haven't.
I understand why they haven't done it completely.
Yeah. It's just funny this now. Like, we're told that Welsh Rugby needs to stick together. We need a united front. And I don't think we got that. Although it is worth remembering Scarlet's mind. They are the only region to come out and gone, yeah, we should go to 3 teams. Because I think it was their board member, Ron. Was it Ron Jones? Ron Jones, I think, from the Scarlet's board. He came out and said we haven't got enough money or talent for 4 teams. So I don't think I've seen anyone else from the regions come out and actually say that.
My issue with the whole, the clubs aren't inclusive enough, we should all get on better, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure some of the people saying this have never actually been to Wales, because growing up in Ebbw Vale, people would fall out with people because they were from the other bit of Ebbw Vale. Like, how could you possibly be mates with him? He's from Cum. You're from Hilltop. You shouldn't mix. So the idea that we should be united, we can't even agree on what part of the town we're from. Jesus.
Yeah, there are some mad stuff. One of my favourite, though, on the terrace, I know we're trying to wrap up, was Scott Matthews, one of the terrace faithful. He was going around saying, close the cap on the terrace. I sort of thought he was joking at first, and then he was genuinely trying to get people recruited into his way of thinking of they've got all the internationals, put the women's rugby, then close down Cardiff. So he was chanting close the cap, which I thought was pretty amusing at the Ospreys game, to be fair. So well done, Scotty. Good Dragons faithful legend there, to be fair. I could get beyond that one.
Yeah, so he was Ron Jones at the start, so he did come out and say at least one region should go. He said we haven't got the money or the talent to sustain 4 teams.
I reckon there's a bloke on every rugby club committee in all of Wales called Ron Jones.
Yes, probably.
And they all look very similar.
Yeah, it was slightly weird when you saw that statement coming from CF10, the Ospreys supporters club, our supporters club, but then there was no 316. The optics didn't look good, but then I don't want to go into it now, but I do kind of understand why they didn't sign it either. Yeah, I get it. I completely get it. Right, so got to wrap up now. I wanted this done in an hour. That's completely failed. But I do want to read out this message that I received today because it's really nice. I want to share it with you all. So I do get random messages from people on Facebook every now and again. And some of them are quite nice, like this one. So this is from Jem Salmon. And he said, "Hi, Jamie. As a Risca lad living in North Wales and an avid Dragons fan, I just wanted to say that I love listening to the podcast, and I wanted to thank you and the lads for putting in the time and the effort to make such a great listen. He said, it's much appreciated as I know how much commitment it takes. Anyway, here's to Wales's Six Nations, in brackets, although I'm not optimistic to say the least. Nope, neither are we. And the Dragons continuing their upward trend. Many thanks, Jem. So I thought it was a really nice message to send. So thank you very much, Jem. And yeah, we're really glad you're enjoying the pod. We've had a lot of nice messages and feedback lately. So it's good. It's good. You know, it's like I said, I always thought we'd be talking into the void, but that's not the case. We're building up a really good community, and we got really good fan base now, dare I say. But yeah, it's been really enjoyable. But we are going to take a break now, so you're not going to hear off us for a few weeks. The Benetton game is on the 28th of Feb, isn't it? If I remember correctly, Saturday. So yeah, we'll probably be back sort of early March. I can't wait to get back at Ronnie Parade. I've missed it. And I haven't felt like that for a long time, you know, but it feels like, well, it's been ages now since we played a game of Ronnie Parade, isn't it? But yeah, I can't wait to get back there. Can't wait to get back there and have my halftime cup of tea and a Kit Kat. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. Right. Gavin, Gareth, thank you as always. Thank you to our friends at Riverside Sports Bar for their continued support of the podcast, of course. Best of luck to Wales in the Six Nations. I think we're going to need it. Also, as well, shout out to the Wales under-20s boys. Let's not forget them. We got a few Dragons boys in there. They open their campaign by playing England up in Northampton on Friday night. So best of luck to them, especially to the Dragons lads involved in that one. And thank you all for listening. I will speak to you again very soon. Up the Dragons.